Hey pen friends, it's Kaitlin. Welcome back to my cozy corner of the internet. I can't believe we are doing the February journal recap video today because I feel like I just filmed my January one, but I guess it's been a month, so here we are. Today, if you're not familiar with the series, I'm going to be talking about all the journaling stuff that I did in February. I'll be talking a bit about how my analog system is going, if I have any updates about that. And I'll also be just talking about any new stationery updates, any new stationery purchases. Of course, this month I was on a low buy, so I'll be more focusing on how that low buy went versus the stuff I bought or finished using. And yeah, it's just a super chill time. Feel free to put me on while you're journaling yourself, or I don't know, doing some like cleaning as like a background noise. And I hope you enjoy however you're watching, and let's just get into the video. So I think the first update I want to discuss, it's kind of like analog system related, but not really. So that's why I thought maybe let's just put it at the beginning, is my update on my travel journal. So back in December/January of 2023/2024, I went to Spain and I collected all my ephemera. I have a video that shows you how I stored and collected my things, so you can check that out if you want to know how I managed to get all my stuff. But after the trip, I had told you how I wanted to make a travel journal, and it took a couple months, but we are almost done. I'm gonna do a proper flip through video of it once the journal is completed. It's like 98% done. There's two small things I want to do, but I thought I would give you maybe like, I don't know, a sneak peek here while we're talking about the February recap, because one of the big things that I did do this month was updating this, putting this together and doing all of that. So I guess I'll just tell you the journal. It's not really a journal, it's a photo album that I used to capture my Spain trip, and it's this guy right here. This is a Travelers Company product. It is, I believe, called their B6 photo file spiral notebook. So the notebook, if I can find, I guess there aren't any blank pages, but if I flip to like the first page of the notebook and kind of bring you closer, you can see that each page, quotations page, is a piece of craft paper and then this kind of clear pocket, and you can use that to slip in photos. So I guess technically my travel journal is more of a photo album. I finished like the photo part of it. Now I just have a couple more touches I want to do to complete the proper journal aspect of it, which involves like I want to add like a pocket for ephemera so I can stuff that in the back. I also want to have a pocket on the front, and I want to put in a piece of paper that has like the itinerary for the trip and what we did every day. I haven't done that yet, but what I have done is put in all the photos from the trip. This album only has, I think, like 30 something pockets, so I had to be very selective about what photos I chose to include, but I can just show you a couple pages. I used a combination of Instax photos, so the wide size, also the square size, which are these ones. And then I also used photos from my Canon printer. And someone asked me about this. These are just the photos printed in the collage view. So on the printer, you can choose to print like an entire 4x6 photo, or you can say I want to print two photos on one 4x6 print, and this is how it looks. So that's kind of what I did. I'm like checking. What can I show you that doesn't have people's faces in it? Here's like another spread. So yeah, like really simple. I just kind of chose the photos I wanted and then kind of chose the different printers I wanted to use to print the photos. But I think by using the different printers, it adds like a cool kind of, I guess, like visual interest without making it super complicated. I find for me, when I travel, the one thing I like to look back on the most is photos. So that's why a big part of the spreads that I have are photographs, just because that's what I like to look at the most. And I do have my personal daily journal, which does have my kind of personal notes and ramblings on what I did in the day. But this I thought would be cool to be more dedicated to like the photos. As you can see, I did not stick them in, which was probably a bad idea, but I digress. More photos, some food. Of course, we had to have like an obligatory food spread and then more photos. And yeah, the entire album is full, which I'm very happy about. And I just need to add those final touches, and then I will do like a proper flip through video so that, you know, it's all together. But yeah, that's how it's coming together right now. Oh, I think I'm also gonna stamp the date, words. I'm also gonna stamp the date on the front because I think that would be cool. And yeah, I just also added a label here. This is by Dymo. The first one actually fell off, so I'm hoping this one sticks. And this is a sticker that I got when I was in Barcelona. This is of the Park Gel Dragon, which, do I have a photo of it? Yes, it's this. This is the dragon that the sticker is based on. And I don't know. He was just a cute little guy, so I thought I could like stick him on the front of the journal, and that would be nice. And this just sits in my bookshelf with all my other archive binders and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of nice to have this done. I've been like showing my family and like my friends my photo album now when they ask about my trip, which is kind of cool because then I don't have to talk as much and I can just show them the pictures. But yeah, almost done, but big kind of journaling focus for this month was getting this guy done, and yeah, I'm liking how it's come together. Besides this, what else? What else did I do this month? Many things. Oh, I know what I'll talk about. So I'll talk a bit about my analog system, because this month I decided to try out ring planning. It's still very much experimental, although I'm definitely seeing how it could be really useful for the way I plan and like my lifestyle. I also have a video going over the setup, and it's not really a full setup yet. I'm just kind of piecing things together as I need them. And it's not really anything complicated. I can maybe give you an update though on what it's looking like so far and what I've done. So since that video, I've added some pages to the front. I was gonna add a future log, and then I don't know, I was thinking about if I really wanted a future log in this book. A lot of times I find, because I have like a family calendar and a shared calendar with people who have shared events with me, it can be hard to keep a future log because sometimes I feel like I'm just copying events over from that. And then also I find like a lot of the events that I'm writing down in the future log are reoccurring things like holidays and birthdays. So when I was thinking about adding it to this binder, I was like kind of not feeling it because I felt like I was just going to be rewriting mostly events that happen every year, like people's birthdays, holidays, stuff like that. So instead what I did was, because this is a ring planner and you can move things around, I did add a page for the first 6 months of the year for my like monthly planning section. So I technically have March through June, but because March starts this week, I've moved it over. And I'm thinking what I could do here is, because I have these pages ready, if there's like a note or a thing that I want to do that month that I need to jot down that isn't referenceable in my Google Calendar, I think I'll just put it on a sticky and then stick it on the page. So there's like a dedicated page for those upcoming months if I need it. So yeah, like super easy, just like blank pages, and I'll show you how this looks in my monthly section. I also added a task list for my kind of year. So this is an Alistair method task list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 to denote the 4 quarters of the year. I also have a dot, so that's like a non-date specific task. So anything I need to do that kind of falls outside the month, I can put in here so I don't forget about it. And then I think since that video, I also changed up my monthly calendar. What I'm really liking, and this kind of goes into why I'm enjoying this system so much, I really like how if I want to change up something, I can just take out the pages and do it. I don't have to wait or kind of live with it, even though that's probably good in some ways too. So for example, this calendar was originally a kind of standard calendar on 2 pages with like the boxes, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. I wanted to change it up, and so what I did was I actually made this a kind of traditional bullet journal calendar. I tried using this side to track, not habits, but I wanted to track like what days I read, what days I watched a movie, what days I was playing my Nintendo Switch. I kind of fell off, but I might finish this for February. I don't think I'm gonna carry it over though, just because I don't know. I found it interesting at first, and then I found it less interesting as the month went on. But yeah, I just did like a standard calendar, and then what I did was I drew out the calendar for the month here on like the same page. I just cut it smaller. And then what I did, and I did this in my passport bullet journal and I really liked it, so that's why I wanted to bring it over here, is I used my mild liner or like a marker to do like a dot on the days where I had something going on. So I can see very easily when I look at this little calendar here, what days I'm busy. So I really like that. I like how it kind of layers. I have added, where is it? I've added March in already. So I really need to take out my February calendar. So yeah, I have my March one here. I need to create my little mini calendar and punch it in, but the page is ready. I think next month what I'm gonna do though is instead of having all the days of the month written out, I think I'm just gonna simply list out the events and the day that I have them. So it's not gonna kind of be like as visual as this, but I think because I have this little calendar, it will be fine. And it will allow me to capture multiple events that fall on one day better, which is something that always happens to me. I feel like I'm not that busy, but when I am busy, I have like 4 things on the 17th, and you know, it's hard to fit that in this amount of space. So yeah, that is the plan for March. I don't think I can really do a flip through of my pages just because I have like a lot of work tasks in here, but it does follow the same format as a lot of my other bullet journals has, but I will show you the first couple pages. So I have my task list here. 1 through 4 is each week of the month, also in an Alistair method. I have my hobbies. So this is not a list, or like, it's more of a tracker really, so I can see what I'm doing or reading and when. The dot on the end here isn't non-date specific. This actually means I've finished the thing. So I finished reading the book, let's say, and then these 2 weeks are the weeks that I actually was reading it during. So I like to track that too. This is how a typical week looks for me. I always have my weekly page set up on the left. This is where I will track habits like my move ring being filled, my workout, if I did work out, if I journaled, and then I added in later if I didn't spend any money on stationery because I was on a no spend this month. So I have those habits tracked up here. And then the rest is just a task list. And then on the right, that's where I set up my daily log. So very bullet journal focused. It's just a traditional rapid daily log where you write down everything going on, tasks, events, notes, and then you just set up the next one as soon as you're done the day. And I just continued that until I was done the week. Usually my daily logs take up 1.5 pages. So it works out really well because then the next page I can immediately start the weekly page on the left, and it works out really nicely like this. So that's kind of how it was looking. And then I just have all the pages until March. This is the current week. I set this up on the back of this page so that I can set up my March pages like this. So I'll have my calendar here, I'll set up my task list here, my hobbies here, and then it goes into the week. And I think what I'll do is I'll take out my February pages and probably put them in a box because I haven't figured out an archive solution yet. And then, let me see, I think I added some pages in the back. So I'll show you that. I want to use the back for important notes on different areas of my life. So things like KaitlinGrey, design work, personal life, things like that. I haven't added them all. I'm just kind of adding them as I remember to, but I did add a content calendar. So I'm using this to write down when I post videos so I can see how often I'm posting. And oh yeah, I just added like this is like the notes paper that came with this file of facts. And I just used it for some like really rough notes. I'm playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land again, and I want to kind of make a reference page in my journal for the copy abilities and how to level them up, because I think that would be really cool. So I just made some rough notes here, and I think I'll make like a little insert and punch it in. I don't know, maybe. So that's what that is. And then I just have some pages here. But yeah, that is the notebook right now. The setup still isn't like super complete, but it's getting there. And I'm really enjoying actually using rings for planning. I think it's really well suited to it. I think my strategy is I'm going to continue using this in March and experimenting with it. I am going to try to focus on completing my setup as much as possible and kind of getting that part done. So this will kind of be in the no-buy section when I talk about that, but I will be buying a couple things for this. And I think what I want to do is focus on buying the things to complete the actual setup, make sure that I still like it. And then maybe after that, and I'm feeling like confident, that's when I'll maybe look into purchasing a new binder, because I kind of figure the most important part of the planner is actually like these pages and this setup working well. So I want to kind of focus on that first. And then if I'm happy with that, we can swap the cover, because like the cover, I don't know, it doesn't really, for how I use my planner, it's not like a main part of the setup. It's important for like aesthetics and liking the look of it, but I think I want to make sure I get this right and I like it before I further invest in the system. I am thinking in terms of what binder. I've been looking at a couple. I looked at the Filofax Malden. I looked at the Filofax Malden Compact, the zip around one. And then I also looked at Woozy Studio and Plotter. I am thinking I'm gonna probably, if I do buy a binder, I'll go for one with smaller rings. So the Woozy Studio or the Plotter. I figured out how to measure my own rings properly, and I learned that these are, man, let me, okay, can you see? Yeah. These are 13 millimeter rings. So they're very close in size to the Plotters, which are 11. And I'm thinking like right now, I'm going between if I want Plotter or Woozy. right now I'm leaning towards Plotter because there's other things that Plotter makes that I want to integrate into my system, like the project management folders and the like world map and they have like little sticky notes that are punched, which I think are really cool. So if I'm ordering those things, because it's a US site, if I'm also ordering a binder, it kind of works better in terms of shipping. I also, I don't know, with the Woozy, I'm not sure, maybe you guys can tell me. From what I've read, it sounds like the Woozy came after Plotter, and I'm not sure how much creative inspiration came from the Plotter. So, you know, I'm not sure whose idea was whose, what was the original idea. I definitely want to try to research that more so that I'm supporting, you know, people who have kind of created, I guess, that thought, that idea. I'm not sure if the Woozy is just copying the Plotter, or maybe the Plotter design is very standard design in Japan. That's something that I want to find out more about, but I definitely want to make sure whoever I'm purchasing from, you know, I'm putting that towards the person who created that idea. I hope I said that as like politely as possible. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I just want to make sure I've done my research before I make a decision. So if you know anything about that, let me know. I've also heard really great things about the Woozy Studio though. It is literally half the price of the Plotter, which is wild. So if budget is a big thing, that's a huge consideration. For me, I could afford both, so I just want to make sure that I'm taking those things into consideration with my purchase, but I think I've said all I need to say about that. Yeah, so that's the ring planner. It's going well. My other two journals are good as well. I just filmed a flip through of the completed one that I did in here, which I don't know where I put it. The archive binder is somewhere. I can't find it, but I did do a flip through of my completed daily journal. I am on my second one now, which I have here. It looks like this. Very simple. I clip in the ephemera after. I am thinking it might be good to think of a way to attach ephemera that doesn't involve paper clips, just so it's a little more secure and permanent, but I haven't really figured it out yet. So I'm still kind of sticking with the same system. I'm also thinking about maybe using, and I have this in here as like a test because I was seeing how it looks. I'm also thinking of maybe using a field notes instead. So yeah, we'll see on that. And this journal I have not written in, and I need to update desperately. So that is like top priority for March, is to update this journal. So yeah. So besides that, maybe I should talk a bit about my no buy. Yeah, why don't we do that? So I did do a no buy in February. As of today, which is the 28th, so I have one more day, I've stuck to it. I haven't bought any stationery. It's been amazing. I have had a great time. It's just been really nice to like take a pause on buying stuff and kind of take a break. I feel like I needed a break to kind of distance myself from those purchases and be like a little less, I don't know, emotional when it came to like buying things. So I've had a wonderful time. What I've been doing as I've been in my no buy to remember things that I might want to buy once it's done, or just to write down things that I'm interested in, is I've kept a wish list of things that I want. So I'm keeping that and referring to it so that when I come out of the no buy, if I want to buy something, it's something that's been on the wish list for a while. I think this is something I want to kind of implement going forward. Having something on a wish list for multiple weeks before I purchase it, unless there's like a very specific good reason that I need to buy it right away. Like, I've run out of paper. That's a good reason to buy something right away, but it's not a good reason if it's like, oh, I really like this new limited edition TN and I want it right away. No, I need to think about that before I purchase it. So the low buy has been good. It's ending soon. I for sure know I want to pick up some things for my rings once it's over. Not like exciting things. I want to pick up some Kikuyo business paper so I can print inserts on thinner paper. And I also want to pick up a clear flyleaf to put my photos in for the front. So just like little things like that. Obviously the big thing on the wish list is getting a new binder, but I really want to think about this and be cool with this and be happy with this system before I do that, because I don't want to buy a cover and then 1 month later stop using it. Let's see. What else have I been thinking in terms of next month? Yeah, so some ring purchases. I've also been thinking a bit about how I'm journaling and if I want to continue journaling this way. I don't really know where these thoughts came from, but they did. Right now I have kind of this is like a commonplace book almost, where I record like, I don't know, like quotes. I will journal about information, things that I found interesting. I did like a journal entry here on when I went to the McMichael Art Gallery, so I put in like the map and wrote about like something on the wall that I found really interesting about how these painters painted outdoors. And I really like how with this journal it's not dated, and how I can just kind of write about the specific item or event that I find interesting. Sometimes I find with daily journaling, like, I don't know, like I don't know if I want to continue or I enjoy writing about every day. And normally I will just skip days, but I feel like, I don't know, like as I've been kind of archiving my daily journals, it's cool to look back, but also I feel like there's specific events that are actually meaningful to me about the month that I could maybe have just written about those and I would have kind of gotten the value out of the month. I don't know if I want to record what happens every single day. I'm also kind of missing that space where I would just kind of have a notebook and write morning pages and thoughts and reflections, and I wonder if that would maybe be a better use of a more daily format, to kind of use that for reflections and thoughts and what I'm feeling that day, versus like each day these are the events, but then I have like this journal which is like diving into the specific things I found interesting. I don't know. I haven't made any decisions. I'm just thinking about it. If I did make a change, it would not impact these covers at all. Like I would still use this one for what I'm using it now for. It would just be more of my main journal, and then this one would be more like maybe morning pages or kind of ideas. I'm not really sure, but it's something I'm thinking about. Not definitive, but maybe. So yeah, maybe I'll leave you with that thought to end the video on today. That's kind of what is the last thing I've been thinking about in terms of my system, and that's kind of the full recap in terms of my journals for the month. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my weird chatty little recap and it wasn't boring, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everybody.